In 2022, there were over 18 million small to mid-sized resellers on eBay, but only 2 million on Amazon. Why is there such a difference? Which platform is better, and which one is right for you? For the next few weeks, I'll be bringing you guys a brand new video every single Monday in our 2023 reselling series, and each Wednesday we'll go a bit deeper into some of these topics. Friday, I'm going to be hosting an exclusive live stream Q&A section for all of the members of Juiced, so if you guys aren't at Juiced, join up so you guys can join in. And then on Saturdays, of course, we'll be bringing you guys a brand new episode of Resell Life. So, for this first episode here today, let's discuss the very basics of the two largest reselling platforms, Amazon and eBay. So, let's start with our old friend eBay. I'm going to move over to the side just a little bit this way to give us some room to put some stuff over here so we can check this stuff out. So, the eBay that we are reselling on today in 2023 is not the same eBay that we used to resell on. When I was born, anytime you had something to sell, cheap or expensive, new or old, you would just take a few pictures, throw it up on eBay, and choose your auction or buy it now. Well, friends, the eBay that we were born into is not the same eBay that we are reselling on today. Today, eBay is full of resellers selling any item that you can imagine. Hypebeast trying to flip streetwear, and of course, we have a ton of dropshippers. We'll get into that in a later topic. Now, again, if any of this stuff is confusing to you, don't worry, I will be doing a Q&A session, a live stream here on the channel every Friday night. The link to that will be provided for the Juice Discord and right here on the channel. So make sure you subscribe and have post notifications turned on, and bring your questions, and we'll go through and answer anything that you guys may have. 5 p.m. Central every single Friday. So next week, we're going to go over a full video on eBay in depth, but today, let's just cover some basics. So starting on eBay is pretty simple. As far as the reselling platforms, it's one of the more simple ones to get started on. So first, you have to create a seller account. Now, this is a little bit different than, if you just have an eBay account and you're trying to buy things on there, but the eBay selling process is really simple. Once you create your seller account, all you have to do is search your item. This is the way that I sell my items. You search your item, find one that you like, and then sell similar of that item. After that, you need to figure out what photos that you're going to put on there. There's a lot of different ways you could take photos. Like I said, we'll go into that further in this series, but you just have to have some good photos covering the product, any flaws that it has. And then after that, you're going to need a good title and a good description. The title, I would include some click words in there, obviously, like you guys see in other things. In the description, you really want to answer all questions for your buyer. That way there's no misinformation or no worries of a return later on down the road. After that, you need to choose your selling process. eBay is pretty unique in the fact that it has two main ways to sell an item. You can do the typical buy it now style where you post your price and then others, if they like it, they just buy it right then. Or you can do an auction. You can do an auction based on a lot of different days, a lot of different times, stuff like that. The most typical is to just set it up for a 7-day auction, which means over the 7 days, people can bid on your item and it'll go for whatever the market is willing to pay for it. Or you can make sure you set a reserve price to be sure that your minimum price is met in an auction. That's a pretty unique feature that eBay has that we really like as resellers. Now, for eBay, they do have a lot of different fees for items. Selling a sneaker is not the same as selling a household appliance. Now, I'll put up an image over here where you guys can kind of see some of the fees that eBay has, but it's important to know that every item that you sell has a fee, and whenever you're making your listings, remember those fees, and that should factor in to how you price your item. So, what happens when you sell an item on eBay? Well, it's pretty simple. eBay makes this process very easy for you. If it's a sneaker, for example, and I believe if it's under $100, I think is the limit, you can just go into eBay on your platform, purchase a label through eBay. I would not advise that though. That's not the cheapest way to get it, but again, we'll discuss that in later videos. But for convenience factor, you can just go on and purchase a label right there in eBay's dashboard. You can even say, hey, deduct the price of the label from my eBay selling fees, That way, I don't even have to worry about providing any sort of payment to you guys. And then after that, pretty simple. You just take the label, post it on your box, and then go drop the product off. Now, that's how most items work. For sneakers, again, I think it's over $100 in sales. You will ship those off to a third party to get authenticated, but the process is pretty much the same for you, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Some important things to remember about eBay. eBay is still the largest selling platform in the world, and I think it's going to stay that way for a long, long time in terms of how many users are signing up each day to sell on eBay, simply because it's really easy to get started. You can set up an eBay account, have an item listed in less than 10 minutes. Now, the same cannot be said for a platform like Amazon. eBay is still number one. Why is it so much better than Amazon for beginners? Let's discuss a few reasons why people, especially beginners, like to choose eBay over Amazon. Now, number one, the biggest reason that people choose eBay over Amazon, it's a lot harder to sell items on Amazon than it is on eBay. There's a lot of red tape that you have to go through to even get an item listed. So for Amazon, the main thing that you have to start with is you have to register for an account, just like the same as eBay. But before you could sell anything, you have to decide what you want your selling plan to be. There are two different types of plans that you can register for on Amazon. And the difference is with eBay, where eBay you get a ton of free listings, for Amazon, you have to pay if you want to sell on there. Now, you can decide on an individual plan where they take 99 cents per sale that you make. Maybe if you're not going to make a ton of sales, maybe this is a good idea for you. Or you can go with the professional plan where they just take a flat $39.99 per month, and then you don't have to worry about the per item fee like you will with all the other sales fees tacked onto these things. So those are the two plan options that you could choose from with selling on Amazon. The next thing that you have to decide is what type of seller do you want to be? Do you want to be an FBA seller or an MFN seller? And again, we're going to go into all this in the Q&As in the weeks to come, so make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and like this video. FBA is simply fulfilled by Amazon. I bet you didn't know that a lot of the products that you buy from Amazon that have prime shipping and everything are actually sold from individual resellers like myself, but they're stored in an Amazon warehouse, so they can give you that prime shipping, right? So in this sense, whenever an item sells that's stored in an Amazon warehouse, you do nothing. Amazon takes care of everything. They take care of shipping the item to the customer. Any returns or anything like that is going to happen, that will be handled by Amazon on Amazon's end. Now, there are pros and cons to that, and again, we'll discuss it later. Or you're going to be an MFN seller, basically a manufacturer-fulfilled seller. I typically do a lot of this because it suits my style better, but it isn't for everyone. In an MFN type style of selling, you are responsible for everything. Once your item sells on Amazon, you're responsible for purchasing a label, uploading all the tracking info, and being sure that it's sent out to the customer. And you are responsible for any return or anything like that has to happen. And I will say dealing with customers on Amazon is an absolute headache. So maybe it's worth it to sell as an FBA just so you don't have to deal with customers. It's definitely something to think about. So on Amazon, listing products are a little bit differently. If you want to go in here with me, you will go in and you search a product by its SKU or by its ASIN number or anything like that. That's how you find it. And you're not approved for everything. Again, we'll discuss that later. You have to make sure that you're approved for the item that you're trying to sell. But after you find the item, you'll set your price, you'll set your quantity, you'll set what regions you want to sell it in, and then you'll list your item. It typically takes somewhere between 5 to 7 minutes for that listing to actually show up in your inventory, so keep that in mind. And a big thing you have to do when reselling on Amazon is the market is not as available as it is on eBay, where it's giving you suggested prices as, hey, this is what is selling right now for this price. On Amazon, you're going to need to do a little bit of research. Factor in things like, are you offering free shipping? Are you charging for shipping? What are my fees going to be whenever I sell this item? And all of that has to factor in to how you price things. Now, I know that we've gone through a lot in this video between eBay and Amazon. The main thing that I will say is these two platforms are great. You can resell and have a very successful reselling business on either one of these. Choose which one is best for you in the beginning. Once you become a little bit more experienced, I think it's a necessity to sell on both platforms if you want to be successful. But in the beginning, maybe just pick one. If I was starting out as a brand new reseller in 2023 on March 13th, I would probably choose eBay just because it's a lot easier and I know that my items are going to be seen by a lot of people. I don't have to compete for the buy box like I do on Amazon. But if I'm experienced and I know I'm going to move a large quantity each month, maybe I start on Amazon. Maybe I have a ton of items that I know are going to sell that I can send off to Amazon and I'll just be an FBA seller. Maybe I want to sell everything, ship everything myself. Those decisions are things that you have to decide. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this gave you a little bit of clarity on what site you should be reselling on in 2023, what suits you best. Again, subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment down below if you like this style of video and any questions that you have. Be sure to subscribe, that way you're notified for new videos on Wednesdays, live streams on Fridays, and then the Resell Life series on Saturday. If you guys don't know what Resell Life is, it's my series where I document my journey on turning my reselling business into a six-figure business. I'll link the latest video on the screen in the cards right now. Go check it out. I hope that you guys have a great Monday, a great start to your week, guys. Get selling, get those items shipped off. Let's make some money. This is Soul State from Juice.